Hi, it's Rebecca Rejoices here. This week at sheshares.org, we're talking about a time when God showed up big in your life. For me, instantly, my mind went to the time I went to Africa. So you have to understand a little bit about me. I am a reservation making, Nordstrom buying, Starbucks drinking kind of gal. I don't camp. Camping is like a Motel 6 to me. Oh, I'm not into anything rustic. So, having that knowledge, you might understand that going to Africa was a huge stretch for me. In fact, it was funny. The summer I was thinking that God was leading me to go there. It just started in an interesting way. I joined a group of women who were reading a book about different causes in the world. And one of the things they had talked about on day one is how they were all going to go to Africa in a few years. And I said, that is so awesome. Let me know when you're going to go and I'll write you a check. But not all of us are goers. Some of us are senders. I'm definitely in the sender category. That's fabulous. Well, it wasn't very long, a few weeks later, that I heard a guest speaker at the summer Bible study. She was talking about how she was going to Africa that summer. It was a great speaker, loved her, but it wasn't like right then I went, oh, I'm supposed to go to Africa. Here's the thing though, I'm all about free. Afterwards, she said she had some free books she'd love to pass out if anybody would like one. So I went up to her thinking it would be really good for me to give these books to that book study group I was in. They're all going to Africa. They probably really enjoy this. So I asked if I could get several. So I did. I got several. And then I read it. And the whole time I was reading that book, I kept thinking, uh-oh, I think God wants me to go to Africa. Let me tell you, this was not exciting for me. This was scary. I was just so moved during that process of reading the book and kind of thinking, oh, this is what he wants. But I kept it quiet for a while and I passed out the book. I just kept thinking about it. Am I supposed to go? I mean, I started kind of worrying about it. I don't know if you're the worrier type, but I am. And I didn't know how I would do that. I thought about when I would go, and the timing would be right in a match with my daughter, who would be 18 months. And I thought that was too young to leave her for a couple weeks. But it was funny, that speaker, her daughter was 18 months. And get this for another coincidence, although there are no coincidences, her daughter's name is the same as my daughter's name. Of course, I got to know her a little bit better after she spoke. So I was very worried, but the thing that pushed it over the edge was in about a week's span of time, everywhere I went, felt like God was giving me little signs. I was sitting here just reading, and my husband across the room said, hey, you got to check out these pictures of this guy who went to Swaziland. Now, that's exactly the country that I was thinking of going to. I don't think that happens, especially since in the entire time I've known him, maybe 15 years now, we've never once discussed Swaziland. And then suddenly, while I'm debating this in my head, this comes up. But here's where God showed up big. Okay, he showed up big because he wanted me to do something, and he kept gently guiding me that way. But here's the most exciting thing. The minute I decided, yes, I will be in obedience, I'm going to do this, even though I don't want to, I'm going to say I'm going to go, then there was peace. And peace comes through obedience. It took me that experience to understand it. It was funny because as the year progressed, the year leading up to the event, I was never worried after that. Not one time. I had to get shots, lots of shots for Africa. I had to prepare. The only time that worry crept back in a little bit was right at the last funding moment, but it wasn't about the trip. It wasn't about the trip. It was about that money side of things, and it was a brief moment. But that is amazing to me. I just think about that experience and how I never would have gone. Never. I was a sender. And I hope if you're listening and you're a sender just like me and not a goer, will you be still and just be ready in case there's a bigger message for you? I point to that time in Africa as life-changing for me. Everything changed from there, and only God would have known that. So I would love to hear in the comments or share a video of your own. Let us know how God showed up big time in your life. Thanks for stopping by sheshares.org today. Have a wonderful weekend.